That Rain-Kissed Umbrella, Chapter 3, a Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Eleanor Rose. This is the third part of the trilogy. If you have not heard the previous series, Strawberry Frappuccinos and a Black Leather Jacket, as well as When Honey Turns Bitter, go ahead and listen to those chapters now. If you'd like links to any of the chapters in Strawberry Frappuccinos, When Honey Turns Bitter, or That Rain-Kissed Umbrella, you can find a link to them in the description box below. Could this day get any worse? It's not even 6 a.m. yet. How had Chloe gotten a blister on her heel, pricked by a stray pin in her work bag, and spilled a latte over her chest? She didn't even drink coffee. Ugh. The only redeeming thing about coffee is it smells like Adrian, but now she had to... Adrian. Chloe shook her head back and forth, casting out lingering thoughts of him. No. She's on her way to Marinette's place, and the last thing she wants is to have a foggy head. She's a professional. Regardless of her resentment, she's going to ace the group project and then never see this pest of a girl again after graduation. There was no room for bugs in her garden of life. She walked into the bakery, head high and beelined toward the counter. "I'm here to see Marinette Dupang Chang," she said, her ponytail swishing from side to side as she spoke. "Marinette?" The man's face lit up as he looked her over. He grabbed her bags from her, not asking nor giving her time to protest. "Why, right this way!" he exclaimed. "You must be a classmate." She nodded, taken off guard by the warm welcome, before realizing he can't see it with his back turned. He led her upstairs and unlocked the door, and Chloe realized he must be Marinette's father. Her face flushed at the thought, somehow embarrassed to receive help from her now sworn rival and enemy's father. "She's still in her room, I think," the man said cheerfully. "She was working on something last night." Chloe tried not to stare at the living arrangements, but it seemed like the square footage of the house is the size of her lounge. If Marinette came from only a moderately well-off family, how on earth had she seduced Adrian? It's not like she'd be able to afford any of the dates Chloe took Adrian on to initially win him over. The thought stills her heart. No, Adrian wouldn't care about something like that. But his father would. What is the long-term plan here, Adrian? Why would you risk it all for... "So upstairs it is. You'll need to lift the hatch." Marinette's father pointed to a trapdoor on the ceiling, and Chloe sighed. Okay, rude of her to not meet downstairs, but it's 5:45 in the morning. Hopefully she's brushing her teeth or something. Climbing up the stairs, Chloe pushed up the door with more force than she thought it needed, sending a bolt of fabric rolling away. Her eyes widened as she swept the room at floor level. There were fabrics and projects everywhere. She climbed in with a grunt, silently grateful for the boost the father gave her things. "Have fun," he mused, shutting the door behind her. Great. Where was Marinette? She set her things down with a thunk, taking no precaution to be quiet. This is a bakery. The household should be up by now. Chloe heard a groan from the corner. She looked up to see Marinette smacking her lips and looking unkempt. Frustration roared into anger in her belly. She wasn't even up yet? They made plans to meet, and she hadn't even gotten out of bed. She took a hand to rub out the crease between her eyebrows. "Don't lose it, Chloe. If you lose it, you lose." "Hard at work, I see," Chloe said, not bothering to keep the disgust out of her voice. Was it cool to be in the Ladybug's studio? Yes. She had her eye on a project Ladybug teased on Instagram last week, but she wasn't about to fangirl. Just because this girl has talent doesn't mean she's a good or likable person. "Sorry," Marinette exclaimed, trying to get out of bed and instead fumbled over her blankets. Great. She'd better not be this klutzy with their project. Just get down here, Chloe sighed, clearing off the desk with an arm sweep. Why should she care about what hit the floor? Placing her charts down, she unraveled the sketch she'd worked on until 3 hours before. The theme is celebrities, so I came up with some ideas. Don't we have to come up with what celebrity we want to design for first? How are you so successful but so dumb? Chloe snapped, unable to control the irritation in her belly. I literally said ideas. I didn't do a whole 3-month project in 6 hours. Oh. Marinette shrunk backward as Chloe turned her back on her again. What? Do you have any ideas? 3 celebrities you would design for if you could. Go. Well, don't hesitate. Don't think. Who, Marinette? Who? Marinette shifted her weight. Cat Noir. Okay, next. It was problematic for her needs, but she needed to keep what was left of the day professional if she could. Kendall Jenner? And Taylor Swift. We agree on 2 of those then. She almost lit up at that. If anything, she relaxed a bit. We do? Taylor Swift likes for days and treats designers with respect. Cat Noir is specifically model-driven and easy to work with because he knows what we're talking about. She hadn't realized she'd been grooming him over the last few years when he helped her with homework, but Marinette didn't need to know that. So, no Kendall designs. Listen, I don't like Kanye, which means I don't like Kim, which means I don't like the Jenners. Sounds complicated? I'm a bourgeois, Marinette. Social politics are served before coffee. She chuckled, and Chloe felt her stomach settle a bit. Despite what happened between the 2 of them, perhaps she could work with her after all. So, who do you want for the 3rd? Well, we've already met 1 male and 1 female for the design requirements. We can worry about the 3rd later. What about Jonathan Van Ness? I said later, Marinette. No, wait, listen. Part of the grade is taking the person's life into account, right? What if we gave Taylor a suit design and Jonathan the dress? Chloe paused, thinking it over. It wasn't a bad idea. She heard Swift's The Man, and Jonathan loved to strut flowy anythings. Sure, they wouldn't have the actual Swift and Van Ness to model for them, but those ideas would go a long way. Phooey. This girl was good. Which, in hindsight, was good for her for a class project. Well, that's easy then. Looks like we have our work cut out for us. So, each take 1 to start? Chloe couldn't help but laugh. Don't be ridiculous. Felix would know. We have to do them together. So, who should we start with? Not Cat Noir, that's for sure. Chloe wanted time to separate her and Adrian, and even though Cat wasn't actually going to model for them, she didn't want Marinette to put 2 and 2 together and then invite him into the project. No thanks. Pass. 100%. Jonathan. Sounds good to me. Should I grab some breakfast? Chloe looked down, unaware her stomach was making noises until this moment. Yeah, she said, suddenly embarrassed of herself in enemy territory. That'd be nice. Low fat? Low sugar, she corrected. I love carbs, and fat is good for you. Marinette flashed a smile. I'll be back. Chloe allowed herself to breathe after Marinette left the room. This was going better than she thought. Although it would have been better emotionally to pair up with someone else, her grade might be better off with this temptress. Okay, Chloe, chin up. You've been through worse. If you can't work with her in the beginning, how are you supposed to make it until the end? Thank Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 4 is on the way. In the meantime, you can check out these other videos for more fanfiction. I'll catch you next time!